So, welcome everybody to the OOcast, the regenerative podcast experience from OOTOPIA. Today we have the dear pleasure to be welcoming Karla and Ranulfo from Cambiatos. Great to have you here, guys, to share that privilege with Julio Olan, who will be the temporary host. So please, Julio, welcome our guest here to the session.
Hi, so this is Julio. I'm really happy to be here. This is a special moment for us on OOTOPIA to receive Karla and Ranulfo. They are actually joining us in this effort to reinvent regenerative culture on the internet and blockchain. So I'm very happy. I'm very glad to be here.
I'm Karla Córdoba. I'm from Costa Rica, and I'm the co-founder of Cambiatos, which is a technology using blockchain technology to create complementary currencies.
Thank you for being here. And Ranulfo, very happy to have you together at in that OOcast.
Thank you, the same. I'm enjoying to be here, and thank you for inviting us.
I would start with you, Karla. What does it mean for you on a daily basis and in general? Like what this regen word means for you?
Yes, Florian. Yes, that's a great question. Is regeneration, if you think about it from a ecological perspective, it makes a lot of sense to regenerate something that was disturbed, that was changed because of us humans, and we need to restore that balance, right? Take that ecosystem again to the beauty and the fullness that it has before. So in that case, regeneration means to kind of rebuild, to retake that into their original form. But when we are talking about economic systems or social systems, maybe they are not working so well. So we don't need to go back, right? We don't need to regenerate that. We need to regenerate in the sense of generate again, like create something new that is better, that is fulfilling our objectives as society, as people.
And Karla, since you're mentioning the regeneration of the financial system, how do you see blockchain in this scene? How did you first interact with blockchain, and how did you come to this conclusion of using blockchain for this endeavor?
Yeah. So I'm going to take the blockchain part. I'm going to let it to Ranulfo because he was actually the one that introduced me to the blockchain technology. In my personal life, as I was explaining before, I had a decade of experience working with non-profits and environmental initiatives in Costa Rica. And I did a lot of fundraising. And I was really frustrated because at the time I was working on that, it was the time of the 2008 crisis. And many of the funding we had previously came from the US or from Europe. And you can imagine that because of the crash, the funding was really, really low, and we got into problems. And the thing was that we had everything. We had the people, we had the projects, the ideas, local communities that wanted to work with us, the technical knowledge, and we were only missing the money to put everything to work. And that's insane because you have all the value there, the people, the needs, everything is there. And then I met this Brazilian guy, this Brazilian researcher that came with some crazy ideas about complementary currencies and blockchain, and that was Ranulfo. Ranulfo, maybe you can tell your side of the story.
Yeah. I was born in an archipelago in the south coast of São Paulo state. It's called Canané. My father was a fisherman, a hunter, and he taught me a lot about ecology. So then I went to start college, and then after finished the college, I went to work in the field during almost 10 years. And at the same time, I saw several economic crises during that period, and I thought, wow, why this economic crisis occur. Why? It doesn't make sense because most people are happy then they are in serious problems, economic problems. So then I started studying, and with the time I made a PhD in economics. Before entering the PhD in economics, I was talking with a friend of mine in 2008. So he told me, you need to understand cryptography. Okay, so I took around 9 months studying all these things. Then I came back to the blockchain paper, the Satoshi Nakamoto paper, and then I finally got the message.
So, how would you share that idea with someone who has no idea of what is blockchain, who is working like doing having a small juice house somewhere in Brazil or in Costa Rica, yeah, and who is willing to understand what it is?
Oh, thank you for reminding me of the juices in Brazil. They are so good. I miss them. But yeah, it's actually when we first met, that was our first venture together. We said, well, these things, people need to know about these things, but they are so complex. And then we created Cambiatos because we wanted people not only to understand the concepts, but also to play with them, to be able to create something. So when we do the introduction to these ideas, for blockchain it's pretty cool if you imagine that like a book. It's a book. Let's imagine it's an accounting book. It's a book in which you're registering things that happen, right? In this group of people, let's say Florian, Julio, Ranulfo, and myself, we are doing something together, and we are keeping track of everything in that book. And I have that book here with me in my house, in a closed box in my bedroom, right? So I can go there and I can make changes. And if Florian wants to know what is written in the book, he can come to my house, knock the door, I will open the door, I will open the box with my key, and will allow Florian to see the book. But Florian cannot take the book to his home. And Florian cannot change the book either. Only I can do it. And that's a centralized system. It kind of works because everyone knows the book is there, the record is there somewhere, someone has the key, someone can change it. But you're not sure. You cannot be sure that I'm not like just playing with the numbers and writing things that are not correct. You don't have a copy of the book. You cannot compare if I did something wrong. And blockchain is a little bit different from that. In a blockchain system, we all have a copy of the book, right? And we all agree on a way to change the book. And we do it at the same time, right? And we can all see the information at the same time. It's transparent, it's secure, and it's distributed. In a traditional bank, your information is in someone else's book, saved in a closed box in someone else's room, and you cannot access them.
One thing that I just wanted to add from my experience is that one of the big issues is to define who is going to write the next line on the book, right? So that's where the miners come from. In order for you to be elected to write the next part of the book, you have to prove that you are worthy, and you prove that by working for the network.
And when Julio and you, Karla, you're talking about actually the miners and this idea of network, we're talking about communities, and those community actually are like the roots of
exactly.
This, right?
Exactly, and that takes us to what is money. So you have a community of people, and they agree to do something. They agree to do the mining thing and the recording of information on the blockchain and whatever. It's a community with an objective of creating this system, and they decide the rules. So there are some rules that people accept, and then they do it together. So if you ask a bank, for example, the Central Bank of England or something like that, if you ask them what is money, they are going to say, money is debt. That's what they say because that's their business.
They say money is a type of I owe you, type of debt. It's written in a quarterly review 2014, September.
Yeah.
But this definition is biased to their interests, to their business. Okay.
Exactly.
And actually, when you said that, Ranulfo, actually you're questioning even the real question of of wealth and what is wealth and what's the wealth definition. Is it based on debt? Is it based on your contribution? So what is the interaction with other economists and other people working into those subjects when you talk and you touch about this question of wealth?
Okay, first, I'm not economist. I have a PhD, post-PhD, but I'm not economist because I don't believe in that theories.
He doesn't like to be called economist.
I studied that and I disagree strongly.
Yeah, no. That kind of theory works probably in Mars, Saturn, or other moon, or other planet, but not in this planet. Okay, wealth. We talk about multidimensional wealth. Okay, let me give you an example. When people talk about the people that survive with less than $2 per day, and most people agree with that idea, and they are entering in a cognitive trap. Why? Because you are measuring the well-being, wealth of someone in dollars, okay? And sometimes they have other resources, okay? They have other things, but not the dollars, okay? We needed to reframe our idea about money, about wealth, in order to regenerate our planet, okay? And the regeneration also implies the creation of new structures, including mindsets, okay? So, and multidimensional wealth is a concept where the wealth is measured by several aspects: the spiritual, the natural resources, the cultural, the amount, the monetary aspect. For example, we are living in a transition period in the world economy. The wealth implies also recognize that we are also living in this transition period, and the monetary wealth is measured not only by the money created by the bank, traditional bank, but also by complementary currencies, cryptocurrencies, okay, and other things.
And the connection of that with the complementary currency is really beautiful, because if you think about how money is created now, we were saying that money is created as a type of debt. So someone always needs to be indebted to the system to work, right? People, companies, or governments. But if we create different types of money with different designs, that they don't require debt, they don't require the values behind debt that include competition, scarcity. If we build other systems that are based on abundance, that are based on collaboration, that are based on learning, on taking care of the world, of the nature, then your currency actually represents that. It's not representing debt anymore. It's representing the good things we want to do together. And if you have a lot of that currency, it means that a lot of that well-being is being done because the currency represents that. If you have a currency that is based on learning, each time someone spends time learning about regeneration, which is something that you want to do, then you have 1,000 coins in circulation. It represents 1,000 hours of learning. It means people is now more aware of regeneration.
So Karla, just to recap, so we are saying that we can change the meaning of money and to understanding in different dimensions and perspectives, and getting to understand that money is actually an agreement, and we can change the kind of agreement that we are working on. So, and then this brings us to Cambiatos, right? So I wanted to ask if you can explain to everyone what is Cambiatos, what's the platform. So if you can tell us about the platform.
Sure. So we came from the idea of, there are other types of currencies. People need to be in agreement in order to create that. The mindset, it needs to be different, right? The ideas that people has on their mind about money, they need to change in order to people to be able to create new ones, right? So we designed Cambiatos with that logic. And we call it that we have the 3-step process. The first one is mindset change, which is a series of learning sessions we have designed for people to understand what is money, what is blockchain, how can you create your own. Then we go to step 2, which is the co-design, in which we collectively design the currency, right? So the community members, they decide, okay, is this going to be a currency that is based on learning, or what actions people need to do in order to get the currency, and is it going to have an expiration date or not? Is it going to be able to go into negative balance or not? And once that design is ready, we take it to the software. So we have a software which is open source, web-based. You can use it from any device, from your computer, your cell phone, and you are ready to launch it, to invite users and start doing it. And in the software, the software has a built-in wallet, blockchain wallet, that allows you to manage and handle your currencies, your complementary currencies. Your software, you can have OOTOPIA tokens, OOs, or you can have muras, and you can have pools. You also have a marketplace, kind of a shop in which people can offer products and services in exchange of the complementary currency. And in Costa Rica, we have something called pulperias. The pulperia is this small shop, kind of mom and pop shop in the corner. And there are around, 10,000 pulperias in Costa Rica. And 6,000 of those pulperias are part of Fundes network. And they wanted to promote the improvement of these businesses. Most of these businesses are really, it's a family business run by really simple, in a really simple way. So they wanted to improve people's knowledge about their businesses. So we designed Pulse, which is a currency in which if you invest time learning about how to better do your business, about marketing and finances and all these content that Fundes already had ready, and they have an app, an e-learning app for that. So you go there, you see a short video, 3 minutes, then you get 15 pools or 20 pools. And those pools, you can use it to exchange with other pulperos, or to also have access to products and services from Fundes, right? So many people is learning, you have a lot of pools in circulation, and then it has this marketplace or this economy that emerged that allows people to exchange between them. And we did that for a year in Costa Rica. We got to 600 pulperos and pulperas participating, and more than 300,000 pools in circulation.
What was the kind of question that people had? Like, how are you going to pay for that? Like, but it's not real money. Like, what is it? Like that kind of.
Those are the regular questions. The questions are always similar, right? What happens if I need dollars or I need colones and you only have this currency? And why is not exchangeable, and right? So those are the
pero
questions.
eso es legal? ¿Cómo puedo utilizar?
Yeah, is that even legal? Yes, exactly. And the cool thing is that there are answers to all of those of questions, right? In the regulatory aspect, these complementary currencies that we create with Cambiatos, they are pretty much similar to a loyalty point systems, to air miles, to right? It's a closed community. People is exchanging between them. It's not a threat to the national currency, but now you have more resilience. You have different options to choose from.
From monoculture to permaculture, basically.
Exactly, monoculture of money. Yeah, that's right. And we need a really permaculture world in terms of money, really diverse and complementary. The first step and the most important element of a complementary currency is the community, is the people, the diversity of people that is committed to accept that currency in return, right? So at the end, the currency is actually based on trust. The trust that this group of people is going to accept it. If I have these OOs, they are valuable because I can use them. Someone is going to accept them, and I can have access to a product or a service or time from someone from this community.
During the mindset change process, we explained them that the money is agreement made by a community to use a standardized item that serves at least as a medium of payment. The traditional money, for example, the central banks tell that the money they create accomplishes 3 functions. unit of account, store of values, and I forgot the other, a media of payment, okay, exchange, yeah. But this is not true. When the crisis happens, the store of value reduced,
It's lost.
lost. The medium of the serve as a medium of payment is also lost because most people don't spend the money, they keep it, okay. So and when people understand that the money is an agreement, so it's more easy.
And it was super fun during the first workshops and sessions we had with the pulperos in Costa Rica. At some point, they started to answer their questions between them, right? So one pulpero was asking, but what can I do with 20,000 pulls if I don't want to be part of the system anymore, right? What do I do with that? And then another pulpero said, give them to me. I will give you some crackers or some food, and then you can sell the food in your shop, and I will keep the currency because I can use it here, right? And people is super creative. For example, Tumuda in Brazil, which is another currency that is using Cambiatos. And the things that they have been able to do with that are really amazing and beyond the original design of Cambiatos. People is super creative in how they create the interactions, how they exchange. They are, for example, now they are doing crowdfunding campaigns. I know that you did one for OOTOPIA. So they are doing crowdfunding campaigns for projects, and they are matching the dollars that people is donating with muras. So you're giving $100, let's say, and then you're getting 100 muras, and you can use that into the marketplace of the community. It's pretty smart, right? You're multiplying the power of the donation, and also inviting people to join the community and to interact and generate more value to others. If you're a founder or an investor and you invest $1,000 in a community currency, and that community currency is able to multiply that 4 times, 5 times in exchanges between the community, right? It's kind of and that's on top of what Cambiatos is offering. That's full creativity from the community.
I like that you're touching this because actually it's reconnecting directly with the same concept of wealth. Like as we define it, like we're touching here a key point of the ideal wealth, like that wealth that is like hidden in society and within the creativity of everyone. And creativity is actually like able to release a big part of the famous GDP that doesn't even exist in society. Like we don't even see it. It's just but we don't see it because it's not here being exchanged in traditional fiat currencies.
Don't let me start with against GDP, right? So using that to measure wealth is crazy. A country like Costa Rica, which is a small country and a medium or to low income country, but Costa Rica has so much wealth, so much nature, so much resources, so much creativity in the people. So definitely we deserve a better way to account for our wealth, to account for the things we have. And I believe, and in Ranulfo, and I believe that using complementary currencies, using the best of technology we have today, which is distributed ledger technologies like blockchain, for example, to move people to that next understanding and level of connection, of also responsibility, because we are used to let others to be responsible for the systems we use, including money. But if we are being part of these complementary currencies, we are co-responsible of them, to participate, to make decisions, to use it, to promote it, is our responsibility. So that's also part of the adventure of the regeneration. We need to regenerate our own self, how we see each other, how we see ourselves in the world. We are not passive beings. We are agents. We can do things. We can change everything we think it needs to be changed. And regenerating ourselves in that way, it will unlock a full potential of possibilities, right? For our communities, for our businesses, for our countries.
I wanted to thank you for this time here with us. So it was really enlightening and exciting to see, because there is a lot in common between the projects that we're building. I think it was a very powerful interaction. I'm very glad to have this and grateful. So that's...
It was our pleasure also.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Thank you. Great energy, great ideas, and
Good vibe.
Yeah, good vibe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Take care.
Thank you for having us, and good luck with Utopia and everything that you're doing.
Okay.
Thank you.